Most people who struggle with money aren't reckless spenders. They're not lazy. They're not financially irresponsible. In fact, most of them are doing everything the experts tell them to do. They're tracking their expenses. They're cutting out small luxuries, and they're trying hard to spend less than they earn. And yet, they're still stuck. Month after month, they feel like their money disappears. They don't know where it's going, and no matter how much they cut back, their bank account never seems to grow. If that's you, if you've ever looked at your budget and thought, I'm doing everything right, so why isn't this working? You're about to learn the truth. Because the problem isn't that you're bad with money. It's that you're probably making the single most common budgeting mistake that keeps people stuck. You're not telling every dollar where to go. And if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how this one shift, the same principle that wealthy people quietly follow, can completely transform your finances. We're going to break down the psychology, the step-by-step process, and real-world examples of people who've gone from barely getting by to total control by making one crucial change. The comforting lie of spend less than you earn. We've all heard the advice, just spend less than you make. And on the surface, it makes perfect sense. If you make $4,000 a month and only spend $30,500, you'll have $500 left over. That's just basic math. But here's the problem. Math isn't how people behave. And spend less than you earn is so vague, so passive, that it actually sets you up to fail. Let me tell you a story. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 32, makes about $40,200 a month after taxes, and has been trying to budget for years. She uses an app that tracks her spending. She cuts back on Starbucks. She avoids impulse buys on Amazon. And she always tries to spend less than she earns. But here's what happens every month. Her paycheck hits her account. She pays her rent, car payment, and utilities. She buys groceries, she goes out a couple of times with friends, she pays the minimum on her credit card, and by the end of the month, there's nothing left. Maybe $30, maybe $10, often nothing at all. And the worst part? She has no idea where it went. She's not blowing money on luxury handbags or wild vacations, she's just living her life. And yet she's stuck in the same place. This is the trap most people fall into. They think budgeting is just about awareness, about tracking expenses, or trying to spend less. But that's not budgeting. That's reacting. And reactive budgeting will always leave you behind. Now let's meet Marcus. Marcus also makes about $4,200 a month, and a few years ago, he was in the exact same situation as Sarah. He was trying to budget, cutting expenses, and still had nothing left over. But then he learned the principle that changed his entire financial life. Give every dollar a job. Here's how zero-based budgeting works. Every time Marcus gets paid, he sits down and assigns every single dollar to a category, on paper or in an app, before he spends a cent. Rent, $400. Groceries, $450. Utilities, $150. Car payment, $350. Debt repayment, $300. Investments, $400. Emergency fund, $100. Fund money, $200, and so on. By the time he's done, his income minus expenses equals zero. Not because he spent everything, but because every dollar has a destination. The key difference? Now he's in control. Every dollar is doing something intentional, and when that money leaves his account, he knows exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And the results are night and day. Marcus is now saving $500 a month, paying off debt faster than ever, and building an emergency fund, without earning a single extra dollar. The only thing he changed was the way he told his money what to do. This isn't just about spreadsheets, it's about psychology. Humans are naturally reactive with money. When money hits our account, our brain goes into spend mode. That's why most people don't notice small purchases, because they don't have a plan for that money in the first place. Zero-based budgeting flips that instinct. It tells your money where to go before your emotions do. Think about it like this. Imagine you were managing a team of 20 employees. Would you just let them wander around all day and hope they get the job done? Of course not. You'd assign each one a specific task. Your money works the same way. If you don't assign it a job, it will wander off and disappear. But when you give every dollar a purpose, it becomes a powerful tool that works for you instead of against you. Real-world scenario: Sarah versus Marcus. Let's go back to Sarah and Marcus for a second and see how their months play out. Sarah's month, traditional budgeting. Paycheck hits, $40,200 pays rent, bills, and groceries. $2,400, plans to spend less the rest of the month. Buys a few things on Amazon, goes out with friends, picks up takeout a few times. Ends the month with $0 and no idea where the last $1,800 went. Marcus's month, zero-based budgeting. Paycheck hits, $4,200. Every dollar is assigned before the month starts. Rent, bills, and groceries. $2,400 debt payoff. $300 savings. $400 investing. $200 emergency fund. $100 fund money. $200 miscellaneous buffer. $100 ends the month with $0 unassigned. But with savings, debt progress, and investments growing. Both spent the same amount. But only one made progress. And the difference is simply intention. But what if my income changes? A common objection to zero-based budgeting is, what if my income isn't consistent? Maybe you're self-employed, work on commission, or your hours vary. Here's the solution. Budget based on your lowest predictable income, and treat anything extra as a bonus to assign later. Let's say your income ranges between $3,800 and $4,400. Create a budget for $3,800. If you make $4,200 one month, you now have $400 of bonus dollars to assign intentionally. Maybe $200 to debt and $200 to savings. The principle remains the same. Every dollar still needs a job. The only difference is when you assign it. Why rich people budget differently? Here's a myth most people believe. Rich people don't budget. But the truth is, wealthy people are often obsessive about telling their money where to go. They don't hope money ends up in investments, they assign it there. They don't hope their expenses stay low, they plan for them. They don't hope they have enough to cover taxes, they set it aside before they ever spend a dollar. This is why high earners who budget intentionally continue to grow their wealth, while people making the same amount often feel stuck. It's not the size of the paycheck, it's the power of the plan. How to build your zero-based budget. If you're ready to start, here's a simple 5-step framework. List your total income, be realistic, include only what you know you'll receive. List your expenses, start with essentials, housing, food, utilities, then financial goals, debt, savings, investing, then lifestyle, entertainment, dining, subscriptions. Assign every dollar. Go category by category until income minus expenses equals zero. Adjust monthly. Life changes. Your budget should too. Review and tweak it at the start of each month. Track and reflect. At the end of the month, compare your plan with reality. Where did you succeed? Where did you drift? Adjust and improve. It might feel tedious the first time, but within 2 or 3 months, it becomes second nature, and you'll start noticing money staying in your account instead of disappearing. The transformation that happens. Next, the first time you do zero-based budgeting, the difference is subtle, but over time, it's life-changing. Suddenly, you're saving money on purpose, not by accident. You're paying off debt faster without cutting your lifestyle. You're building an emergency fund and investing consistently. And the best part? You're no longer stressed or confused about where your money is going, because now, you know. Let's look at 2 futures. Future 1, without zero-based budgeting, 5 years from now you're still stuck. You're making more money than ever, but you have nothing to show for it. You're still reacting, still hoping, still wondering why you can't get ahead. Future 2, with zero-based budgeting. 5 years from now, you're debt-free. You have an emergency fund, your investments are growing, your savings account isn't empty at the end of every month, it's overflowing, and most importantly, you're in control. The difference isn't luck, it's the decision to stop letting your money wander and start putting it to work. Final thoughts. Control. Every dollar budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about control, and control comes from intention. The number 1 budgeting mistake most people make is believing that spend less than you earn is enough. It's not. It's like saying, just eat fewer calories than you burn. True, but useless without a plan. If you want real results, you need to tell every dollar what to do. Assign it a job, make it work for you. Because the truth is, if you don't give your money a purpose, someone else will. And you'll stay stuck wondering where it went. The people who build wealth, pay off debt and create freedom don't do it by accident. They do it by being intentional with every single dollar. So take control. Start today. Build a zero-based budget for next month and commit to assigning every dollar a job. In 30 days, you'll feel the difference. In a year, you'll see it in your bank account. And in 5 years, you'll look back and realize, this simple shift changed everything. If you found this valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with someone who's trying to budget but isn't seeing results. Because the truth is, they might be one small change away from finally breaking free. And remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how well you direct it. This video is for educational purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making financial decisions.